Rumiko Takahashi is one of the greatest manga authors of all time. She pretty much started the ecchi harem genre with works like Urusei Yatsura and Ranma Half, both recently getting remakes. Her manga has inspired many fans and creators since the 70s, has won many awards and accolades for her work, and is one of the most highly paid and recognized names in Japan. Which sucks, she's probably most well known for making Inuyasha. Now, I'm not saying Inuyasha is bad. I like it and watched it on Adult Swim along with many other millennials. It's a part of my young otaku days. However, as I grew up, I realized something. Kagome is kind of an abusive bitch. Inuyasha just needs to breathe wrong and all of a sudden it's sit boy. And we're supposed to think that's funny because Inuyasha is being insensitive to a girl in love, so that justifies the violence towards him. Despite that, I still do like the series as a whole, to the point I bought this game. I saw it at a flea market once as a teenager, Inuyasha and the Secret of the Cursed Mask. The secret is the game is not very good. So when you start the game, you don't begin as one of your favorite characters from the anime, instead you take the role of an OC created just for this game, by picking their gender first. Usually I play as a girl because I'm a man of culture, but I picked the boy for reasons. Evil reasons. Our OC is named Kururugi Gururu, your average Japanese high school student who gets put in his place when his friend tells him everyone but him is pretty much dating. When Gururu goes home, he goes into the shed to get some things when he falls through the floor and is transported to the past, similar to how Kagome got there. And we meet all the characters pretty quickly. Inuyasha himself, along with Kagome and Shippo, who despite trying to help us return to the present, the Bone Eater's well doesn't work for us, so looks like we're officially isekai'd. So Gururu just kind of pals around with the gang, helping them find Naraku, eventually meeting and joining up with Moroku and actual best girl Sango. And then the rest of the game, there isn't really a story. If you're wondering, they never really say when this takes place in the anime. You'd assume in the middle, I guess? The game is kind of stuck between telling a very watered down version of the anime and this new original story, which isn't confusing or hard to follow. It's just boring. You kind of just go from village to village fighting demons, chasing Naraku, occasionally meeting characters from the show, like all the Ks, Kaede, Kagura, Kohaku, Koga, and even Sesshomaru, ruining my alliteration. And some of them you'll think, why are they even in this game? Koga is only here for like one area, what's the point? And more important characters like Kikyo and Rin show up to be like, oh yeah, remember me? I'm here too. Obviously being based on an anime, it's great seeing characters from the show, it's nice fan service, but they don't serve a purpose other than to be like, hey, remember me? Okay, bye. I will give credit though, this game is fully voiced by the original voice cast from the show. I'm not talking about just the Japanese, no, the game has the full cast from the English dub, including all the side characters. If they have a character portrait, every bit of their dialogue will be voiced, which is insane for a game in 2004, especially a licensed one, considering there are games today that don't even put in that much effort. Unfortunately, the performances are not the best. I know these guys can do better, but here you can tell some of them are not really giving a shit. I don't entirely blame the actors though, they worked with what they had, and what they had is garbage. This dialogue is terrible. It's so awkward and stilted, it's not horribly mistranslated, but it feels like some sentences were definitely run through Google Translate, then back into Japanese, and then run through some third-party translation app.
But I've only read about the feudal era in my textbooks. This is absurd.
Yes, that's right.
I was even attacked by demons.
I see.
Are you interested too?
Yes. It seems Naraku has something to do with why I came into the...
From what Kagura and Itsugi were talking about, I gather that that is definitely the case.
Be born? The thing inside the cocoon?
Nobody can stop it.
I don't understand what's going on. But I'm scared of the cocoon and that girl. The Bone Eaters?
Yes, I just fell straight to the bottom.
I see.
Not to mention sometimes the music comes in so loud it starts drowning out the voice.
Run away! Run away? You'll kill them all. I have to do something. But what should I do? What do you want?
I'm not going to anything. Isn't that right, woman demon slayer?
Hey, this is Brian editing this in the future. I realized when going through the footage that, yeah, they might have actually used Google Translate to translate this game. Because sometimes, despite picking the boy, they would refer to me with different pronouns like she, her, or they, them.
What is she supposed to think, with you suddenly looking like that?
Whatever. It's not like he's gonna die if they can't get home.
To the village headman. What do you want?
I came to turn her in.
Which either proves that they did use a translation program, they're super woke, or they're super bigoted. I don't know, you pick which one. There's one voice you don't want to hear though, your own, and the voice of the main character is so bad. The guy voicing him just seems to be bored. No matter what happens, he is always talking in a monotone voice, like this is the very first time he's reading any of these words.
Damn! I'm gonna get eaten in this place! The village headman said something about Kagura, but then why did they capture... and they put me in jail? I shouldn't waste my time complaining. I need to get out of here. Koga is doing this for his friends, but I can't die either, because I have friends that love me and will suffer if I do. To that house? If I go there, but if I don't go there, I don't want to go, but I have to go.
Yeah, you're not playing the game for the story. Maybe you'll get some enjoyment of it as a fan because of all the superfluous characters from the anime, but that's about it. So when not watching a bad episode of Inuyasha, you play the game, which is a turn-based RPG. The actual graphics you can see are these chibi models, kind of reminding me of an old Tales of game. Two things I will say about this game I love is the music. The old traditional Japanese sound when walking around fits the time period and the mood of each area perfectly. Also, the backgrounds are feckin' beautiful. They look traditionally painted, almost like a background you would see in the anime. It also does the static camera angles thing you'd see in games like Final Fantasy and Resident Evil, and sometimes the angles they choose are pretty cool, like the ones that zoom out so you can see how big the area really is. This game is nice to look at least. Of course, while observing the backgrounds, you'll run into a random encounter and engage in battle. It's turn-based with the order being determined by the character's speed, and everyone doesn't get a chance to go. For example, if your character has a lot of speed, you have the chance to go twice before another character that is really slow. After that, the game is kinda funky, so you got your basic stuff, attack, defend, items, run. Where it gets unique is the skills, or tech. Go into that menu and you get 3 more menus. You don't have MP in this game. For skills you have energy, where the max is always 300. Normal tech are skills that don't require any energy, but as a trade-off they aren't that strong. Then you have special tech, which are the skills that use your energy for a higher payoff. But the weird thing is, despite your energy having 3 digits, every skill energy is the amount of 100 represented in battle by these little orbs near your character. It's just strange how they designed it. Why not have more detailed costs or make the energy just go up to 3 if you're paying in multiples of 100? Finally, there are co-op skills that you get after certain events or when characters reach a certain level. Personally, I love games that have team-up attacks. I think all RPGs should have them. Here they are kinda cool with special animated movies of the 2 characters using their skills together. Some are generic animations they reuse, but certain pairs have special animations, which are neat. Again, a subtle touch they didn't need to do. I barely use them though, because despite the animation, they did not do more damage than a regular skill, at least from what I saw. And to use them, you have to use a lot of energy and waste both the turns of the characters involved, so it never seemed worth it to me. Also, you may have noticed that you always fight with 6 characters in this game, including your OC, Garuru, Inuyasha, Kagome, Shippo, Moroku, and Sango. I know you can't take any of them out of your party, they are always in the battle with you unless they are taken out due to story reasons. Now you might think having all your party members in a battle at once would be a good thing. I mean, you have access to everything all the time. But no, that's stupid. The reason RPGs have you usually use 4 members in a fight is so you can strategize, making sure you have the right team build for the enemies in the area or for a boss. Should you focus on damage and bringing your heavy hitters, or focus on survival, bringing in characters that can heal and buff you? When you have access to everyone at once, strategy is thrown out the window, as now every battle will play out the exact same. I quickly found out Inuyasha and Sango were the best damage dealers, so I just loaded them up with the best equipment for their speed and power and was destroying everything in 1 to 2 hits. Meanwhile, using Kagome and Moroku to heal, and Shippo and Garuru for miscellaneous stuff, like items and buffing. You don't really need to think when playing, just do the same stuff you do every battle. It's really boring. Especially the bosses, they again play out the same, just take longer. They don't have any gimmicks like status ailments or you can only hit them at certain times, it's just a big monster. But I think the worst part of battles is how long they take. Oh my god, this game is so slow. The animations take forever and you have to hear the characters spout the same dialogue every time. Especially Garuru, who uses the power of Shikigami, so every time he has to do this chant for his skills, and you have to hear it every time. This is coming from someone who says one of his favorite RPGs is Dragon Quest VIII, also on the PS2, where I think their battles and animations are even slower than this. But that game, the battles have actual strategy, and enemies can kill you in like 2 hits, so you don't want to mess up. That's another thing, you never are in danger of enemies here. Outside of instant death skills, because it's a mid-2000s JRPG, there wasn't any enemy or even boss that I felt threatened by. They can do some damage, but again, I always have access to at least 2 natural healers, so I was never worried. Back to the battles, the worst part is not even the battle animations. It's the menu animations. After you select something, you have to wait like a second for the menu to turn to the next page, then the next, then you select a character, watch the battle animation, then you watch the animation for the speed meter, which yeah, at first you barely notice any of this, but after only a few hours of playtime when you figure the game out and you're just mashing, you realize those seconds add up. Just watch how long a full turn cycle of this game takes.
Okay. Oh, flame burning bright! Turn into a sort of rat!
like this. Blades of blood! Mine.
Come.
Here goes. Here it goes.
Good.
Here goes. Take that.
I mean, you could have beaten an entirely different game in the time that took. Now, thankfully, I was emulating this, so I was able to speed up the fights, which, thank God, because I don't think I would have gotten as far in this game as I did without it. Which, no, by the way, I did not beat this game, I could not be bothered, but I did make it close to the end, if the few walkthroughs of this game I found were any indication. So why didn't I finish it if I was that close to the end? Well, remember back when I said I picked the male Guru for evil reasons? That's because of the third gameplay section of this game, the dating sim portion. Now, every so often, after a story bit, the gang will be like, hey, let's take the day off, and everyone decides to pair up so you can spend the day with your favorite character. This plays out in, again, a fully voiced scene where you interact with your chosen partner, and even full illustrations sometimes. Again, this game is doing more than most games today would do, I won't take that away from it. And sometimes, if other characters pair off in certain combinations, you can see scenes of what they did that day. And yes, this does affect a hidden affection meter that builds up over the game, so yes, you can date your favorite Inuyasha character. Now, normally, with this knowledge, I would wife up Sango easy, but remember, the evil. Because I hate Kagome so much that my goal with picking the penis was that I would seduce her, get her to fall in love with me, and then, at the end, I assumed they would give me some choice to, go out with her or something, and then I would reject her, breaking her emotionally, so she would see the pain and suffering that she has inflicted on the mud, finally understanding what it's like to be hurt. But nah, that didn't happen. In my quest to cuck Kagome, it was the game that cucked me, because despite my efforts, Garuru, the little bitch, is the one that catches feels for Kagome, and after some demon stuff and meeting Kikyo, he realizes he can't get anywhere with Kagome, because she's in love with Inuyasha. So despite having this dating sim aspect, you can't really date anyone, at best you can become good friends with them, I guess because, there are OTPs in this series, and they didn't want you to mess with that. Which at the same time is like, then what's the point of this whole mechanic? Well, ultimately what it is that, besides the occasional illustration, it determines your ending. I mean, well, the game ends the exact same way, every time, but depending on who you are closest to, Garuru at the end will be like, oh man, that's Shippo, and then it's over, and that's all it really amounts to. So again, once I figured that out and realized my carefully calculated plot was now in shambles, I stopped playing because I was bored of the story, bored of the gameplay, bored of the characters, the game is just boring. If you want to try an Inuyasha game on PS2, try Feudal Combat. At least that's a dumb fun 3D arena fighter that more closely follows the actual show. You get some joy from it. Like, comment, subscribe.
Baby, stack it to the ceiling.